All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over how we're going to interact with each other's summative for this unit one. So of course, you're clicking on my video instruction that I'm recording right now, explaining the directions. And if you move on to number two, you've been put into a group of three at random with your summative. The assignment is you'll be giving feedback, four comments, to the two members in your group by either agreeing with their justification, keyword, agreeing with their justification, not their answer, or by disagreeing and you're offering helpful feedback in your own words by, and this of course is updated by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So the last day in our module is when you want to go ahead and do these comments. So of course, I'm still working on filling out period one, but let me give you an example from last year. So this is last year's example. This is always a routine I do with everybody where before I take a look at it, I first have you all look at it so that you all can give each other your knowledge, your feedback into each other's work rather than me first looking at it and, giving you feedback because I want to make sure that you all have the knowledge, power, and knowledge. So let me give you an example from last year. So this particular student, Ricardo, has his work linked up. So that means his partners, Roxana and Nayeli, made comments on Ricardo's summative. Um, so his summative should have a total of 8 comments because each of them had to make 4 comments onto his summative, as you will need to make 4 comments on your partner's summative and your other partner's summative. So in total, you're making 8 comments. That's basically what you're doing. So basically, this is, you notice how on his summative, there's highlights, there's either feedback, right? Or there could be some disagreements, or there could be some feedback on how to make the work better. Any other things like that. So that's how it should look like when you're looking at each other's summative. Sometimes I might jump in and add some comments as well. It's not always the case, but I for sure will be making the last and ultimate comments once you submit your final submission, which is on Sunday. Once you resubmit the summative and you made your edits. So if you don't want to make any edits, by the way, after looking at other people's work, you're free to resubmit that as your final submission, whatever you had as your draft. So again, this was last year's example. For last year, because we had more time, I had the students do a feedback form. For you all, we don't have to do a feedback form. Um, we're just at step 3 here. You're going to be making 4 comments. While you make your comments, I want you to think about um, how your work is different and why. Like, why did another student do it this way? Um, and then when you look at other students' work, and if you get any comments back on your work, hopefully you make some changes on your work and then you resubmit an improved version of your draft. So that's the goal here. And I also have a note for those of you who did not turn in your summative. So if you did not complete the original summative, right, you were not grouped. That means I could not group you. So you need to do the original artifact first. And it was due, and it was due last night. For our case, it was due Friday. And I linked up the summative to make sure you first do that so that you do have some work to be placed into a group. And then I put text me once you submit this. Of course, you all should have me on remind. So you do also have the option of choosing any group to view. Let's say you didn't do this at all. You could click on any group's name or any person's name. You could just click on it and view how they got started. But of course, you don't want to plagiarize. I don't want to see copies of another person's work. The idea is here is you get ideas if you're struggling on how to get started. What I want you to pay attention to is the justification that people are making, because that's what I'm actually grading on, is how well are we justifying our work and defending our work. So that's a key word here. Again, you're not agreeing or disagreeing with people's answers. We're agreeing or disagreeing with everyone's justification. So that means answers should have justifications. If that's missing, you want to make sure that you make a comment on that. So that's the goal for this assignment. Once you're done, like I said, you make your 4 comments on each partner, right? So you have 2 partners, so you'll be making a total of 8 comments, 4 for one partner, 4 for the other. That will mean you're done with this asynchronous assignment. Once you're done with this, you could go ahead and resubmit a revision of your own summative after you got to look at some peers' work. So basically, sorry. Um, if I go back to our classwork, you're going to see that there's an option right here. Not an option, it's like you should actually be resubmitting the summative, right? Whether or not you made corrections, because you want this is going to be the final score that you get for this unit. So you want to make sure that you submit this after you're done with the peer feedback round. So that's my instructions for this. I hope that was helpful. Um, let me know if this one here. Let me know if you need any other questions or support for this assignment. You could text me on Remind. I'm happy to help you out on the directions for this. Or let me know if you have issues accessing someone else's work. I tried to make sure when I link up the work here that it should be accessible. Again, I'm still working on these groupings as I'm making this video. All right, thank you, y'all, and good luck.